Well, folks, we are here for game number 3. I say we, it's really just I. I believe poor Echo KO, after that game, that pitiful performance from Burning Core, has elected to go back to bed. And we all know that RMC would rather venture into his kitchen and get a cooking than have to sit here and watch an AXIZ game. So it's a one-man show for me for now. Hopefully we'll be able to coax them back. Maybe we can trick them and tell them it's like DFM versus Sengaku for game 3 or something. Boys, you'll never believe what's happened. They've changed the schedule. It's DFM versus Sengaku in Game 3. Anybody buying this? Hello, friends? Echo! Welcome to the world of the living, my friend! RMC, you're back! Welcome to the desk! I'm sorry, they didn't actually change the schedule. We do have to deal with AXIZ versus Detonation Focus Me here and get... No, don't you do it! Come back! No, but in all seriousness, gentlemen, welcome to the desk. I'm happy to have you here with me. We just got to get down to brass tacks. This is almost like an autopsy, right? Nobody wants to do it, but it has to be done to figure out what the cause of death is going to be. And I guess if we're going to start anywhere, it's that, frankly, we all know there's a big skill gap between these teams, right? But Echo, I think what's really shocking is that at 4 and 8, AXIZ seem to be overperforming in terms of their actual skill level.
Whoa, you hate performing. I'll let you take this one, RMC. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay, well, we'll let RMC roast AXIZ. It's one of his favorite activities. Go ahead.
Whoa, no. Like AXIZ, I think AXIZ have been doing what we kind of expected. They're taking the occasional win here. The fact, that they were pushing 6 and were tied with CGA coming into today, I think, is more of a reflection on can't guarantee anything over there rather than AXIZ. I think AXIZ is doing fine. AXIZ is doing AXIZ things, and yeah, today's going to be kind of rough, but that doesn't mean AXIZ isn't going to be able to pull back wins elsewhere.
I don't know about that one, Chief. We'll see. I mean, AXIZ, what has their win-loss sort of pattern been here? Because I know they picked up, were they 2-0 in week 1? And then they picked up a couple of scattered wins since then, but AXIZ to me has been on a down tilt for a while, and I think their record is a complete and utter case of fraud, if you ask me. But we will see if they can put up a bit of a defense here against DFM, who it feels like are starting to feel their groove, starting to get locked in, finally recovered from that post-MSI hangover here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It feels like AXIZ, they gotta stack like all the Infinity Stones if they want to even have like a smidgen of a chance this time. It's like they need it. They need Yellow Yoshi on the Poppy. They need Megumin on a carry to work somehow. They need Seichu to carry somehow. They need Ozuka to not go on the Leona.
Seichu's
not gonna. True. And like
call
Ozuka,
that the time stone.
Just don't go on the Leo, and you might have a chance. I'm gonna just throw that out there. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. That's all I'm saying. But
He's only done it twice. I've only done it twice.
The point being is that everything needs to go right and then some if they don't want to just kind of be included on the DFM show reel this time around.
Yeah, RMC, do you have any specific ways? You're our believer here in AXIZ, oddly enough, that they're going to continue to pick up some wins over the course of the split. Do you have any specific strategies you want to see them adopt? Any sort of cheese, even, they could lean towards?
Honestly, I think Echo covered it. That's pretty much all AXIZ can do at this point. And even as an AXIZ believer, I gotta admit, against DFM of all teams, there's 3 things in life that are constant: death, taxes, and DFM. And right now, DFM and death are pretty much synonymous. So unless DFM kind of makes some mistakes here, I feel like AXIZ, they've got to overperform. DFM's got to underperform a little bit. And so far this split, that has not been the case for Detonation Focus Me.
No, I do believe they are on the 11-game winning streak, right? They did drop that day 1 game against Sengaku to close off the festivities on the opening day of the summer split. And since then, the power level has only been ramping up, and it's the usual suspects that we've come to appreciate over there. Ebby, of course, continuing to do Ebby things. Gnar back in meta, always going to suit Detonation Focus Me. And I think you're starting to see the more rookie side of Detonation Focus Me, who might have been a little bit perturbed how they performed at MSI. Harp sort of bouncing back here and really continuing to be big players. So it should be an easy cruise here for Detonation Focus Me. I think the question is, how easy will it be? On the game scores today, we have a 25-minute game and a 29-minute game already. So I'm going to ask the both of you, what is your over-under for this game? 6th seed AXIZ. Well, I guess they're not 6th seed anymore. CJ's pulled ahead of them. 7th seed AXIZ versus 1st seed Detonation Focus Me here. Over or under 25 minutes, Echo?
I'm gonna say under. I think this is about to be a speed. It's gonna be a speed run unless AXIZ pull out all the stops. Like, we're gonna be out of here in the next game before you even know it.
Could be a quick day. RMC.
I will say Detonation Focus Me once again holds the shortest game record, 23-38 minutes against V3. But despite the fact that they're a fast team, AXIZ is one of the slowest teams in the league. And considering their score, they are 4-8 right now. That means AXIZ doesn't go down easy. Their average game time is 34 minutes and 47 seconds here. So I'm going to say over, because I think AXIZ will not go down quietly. It won't be like game 1 of today where V3 just quietly faded out. AXIZ is going to go kicking and screaming.
I should hope so. I want to see a little bit of that Crest Gaming Act cosplay, right? If you're gonna lose, at least win, or lose with explosiveness, rather. Don't go down quietly. I would like to see it. Are there any picks? We saw the Sivir make its debut here in summer in game number 3. Anything like that could sort of scale up and help stem the tides for a little while that you'd specifically like to see them play here?
I think the Sivir would be a good pickup here for both of these teams. The fact that, Utapon has been willing to play a lot of different AD carries. This is another one I feel like DFM can experiment with. Sangchu, on the other hand, really good on these mobile carries. So good for him as well. In terms of the others, can pull out something wacky. Maybe Fiddlestick's pretty strong right now as well. But honestly, I think it's just the Sivir that's realistic here.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of potential there for either of these AD carries to stall things out, and we'll see what they pick to do that here as we are ready to go on into pick ban. Gentlemen, have a great game. I will see you afterwards. Let's hope AXIZ puts up a fight.
All right, let's hope so indeed. And RMC, I know that Recollect thought that he misspoke, but honestly, when my man said if you're gonna lose, just win, that might just be the strat. You never know. That might just be the move that AXIZ needs to make. I mean, you're looking at it right now, right? DFM 11-1 and AXIZ 4-8 definitely makes you shake a little bit in your boots if you're an AXIZ fan. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? To be honest here, Echo, I'm just gonna take any win that AXIZ can get. Doesn't have to be the game win. If they can win some skirmishes, I'm gonna be happy with that as well, because DFM is just so scary. But for now, the bans that are coming through, you can see AXIZ recognizing that Kalista for Utapon. They're trying to punish that, or not punish, but keep away some of that early game strength here. The Silas, though, is something that I feel like has been creeping to the LJL. We've been seeing a lot of blind Silences for some reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I guess something happened in scrims and they just want to keep it out of DFM's hands.
Yeah, already as well. DFM, they're using the stones to destroy the stones. They took the Poppy out in the first phase as well. They said, Yoshi, you don't get to have it. It's like, we're not giving you any opportunity to try and make anything happen. At the moment, though, DFM still hovering that auction. Okay, not going to opt again. And they do grab themselves the Zeri and the Wukong. Really no surprise there, two of these champs that we've been just seeing so much of in the LJL and just in general, anywhere really, in any region that you look at. Yeah,
surprisingly standard from DFM. I was expecting, a little bit more wackiness, actually, considering we've seen the Skarner and the Nocturne. And speaking of slight wackiness here, Vi being picked up by AXIZ this early on here. They are really wanting to be able to lock down that Sivir. There we go, Echo.
Okay.
There's that Sivir that we were talking about here. I really like it. We saw it last game against the Zeri as well. You're very, very mobile. You can kite around. And Zeri relies on landing her Qs. If she can't land her Qs, she's not doing the damage onto your carry. And the Yuumi as well for Ozka. We didn't mention it before, but neither of us like the Leona. Yuumi is on the other end of the spectrum. I absolutely love it. Can't get caught if you're on somebody else.
Very true. Very true. You can't just throw yourself in there when you are on the Yuumi. And also with Sangchu on that, so right, you've got the special, you've got the cleanse. That's just double safety right there as you do go into the next phase of bans coming out. We already have the Ahri taking off the table as well as the Talir, just paying some respects to both teams respectively.
Yeah, a lot of target focus into the mid lane for both of these teams here. And both teams are still looking for their solo lane. So for AXIZ, I almost wonder if you want to target that top lane a little bit here to block sort of the counter pick. For DFM, you're fine. Yellow Yoshi right now plays pretty much either tanks or Gnar. He's had 6 games on the Gnar, and the Gnar's looking pretty good here. You've got a pretty decent odds that AXIZ is going to pick that Gnar if it's blind right now, because if you just pick a tank, Ebby will bully you beyond Broad's End here.
That is so true. Very true indeed. As the DFM hovering, seeing what they want to grab themselves up first here. Really gonna be taking their time thinking this one through. Ooh, hovering the AXIZ. That could be a very interesting pick in this mid lane here. Not quite sure if they want to do it just yet.
Yep.
Okay, they are gonna lock it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, with Ari banned, I feel like AXIZ is sort of that Nyx
Yeah.
sort of blind pick you can
Logical
safely
step.
pick.
The logical
Exactly. Yeah, there's no really bad lanes against the AXIZ for the most part here. They're going to handshake with the Victor most likely. I think that's a really solid pickup. It's something we see a lot. Again, not a terrible lane for either of them. Victor will outscale, though he will get bullied out early. And so far, AXIZ, they've dropped themselves a lot of damage. So I think this is one of the situations where you might not actually want to blind the Gnar here. I think this is one of the situations where you're okay, he's still doing the Gnar. I was going to say, you can go the Ornn here if you want. You get that tanky front line, you get that scaling instead. Because Gnar also has a lot of weaknesses. And I feel like against Ebby of all people specifically, Ebby can really punish Gnar on those mini Gnar forms when he's vulnerable.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see what Evie is, what's the tool for the job gonna be that Evie's looking for this time around to lock it in with 3 seconds left on the clock. Evie, let's see what it's gonna be.
Yep.
It's gonna be the Yone. Okay. I'm a little worried for Ozka. Not for Ozka, excuse me. Well, for him too. But I'm a little more worried for Yellow. Really, the whole team of AXIZ, I'm worried for them. But I'm mainly worried here for Yellow Yoshi going up against Evie. How you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, I'm terrified. This is why I didn't really want to see the Gnar come in blind right there. I do think Gnar has more clearly defined periods of strengths and weaknesses compared to a lot of these tanks here. The tanks will just suffer in general, but mini Gnar is very, very, very punishable. And that's one of the reasons why I have heavily disliked the B1 Gnar picks, pardon me, that we have seen sometimes in the LJL. But Echo, there might be signs of hope here, because when we look at a lot of the champions that DFM have drafted, there's a lot of squishy champions that can be punished, champions which are vulnerable to hard CC and lockdown. And Swamp did pick that Vi in the jungle here against picks like Yone, against picks like Azir, especially at level 6. When you do get that Vi ultimate in, there are avenues for you to play through. So for AXIZ here, I'm looking at Swamp to potentially be that big carry. If you can get them to the late game, then Megumin and Sanctu take over. But for the early game here, a lot of pressure on Swamp.
Yeah, I do feel legally obligated to obviously point out that you are the resident AXIZ copium dealer, right? So, you know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but you definitely do make some good points, right? And I mean, we both saw and how hyped you were about that Sanctu pickup with the Sivir, as we just saw how it performs into the Zeri as well. Now, of course, you've got that Alistair in the mix. Do you think that's going to change it up at all, or is it still going to be fairly effective?
So no, I actually think the Alistair isn't going to do diddly squat against the Sivir whatsoever here, because Sivir's spell shield is still a thing. Granted, they've changed it. It doesn't refund you mana, but it does give you healing now. And with the whole Alistair combo, you know, hit but pulverize, getting that spell shield is pretty important in order to kind of deal with that combo here. So I'm still liking this Sivir bot lane very much so for AXIZ here. And more than anything else, I just want to see Sanctu on a champion where he can carry. He still has the second highest kill participation of all players in the LJL at 82.1%, but he's been struggling to put out the damage because his team's not been able to peel or protect him as much. And we've already seen with the Sivir, there's a lot of self-peeling involved, or, you know, mobility, which allows you to position and rely less on your team.
True. Already AXIZ looking to put their foot down, that they're not going to be trampled, getting that deep vision in. They do not care. They really just stared steel into the eyes like, yeah, we're doing this right here, right now. I like to see it. Yeah, that's right. Hit them with the thumbs down. Taunt them all you want. You got to get that pressure going. You got to show them that we are not going to be bullied this time around when you're AXIZ.
Yeah, mental strength, but I am worried. I go, Yellow Yoshi probably should be the one giving the thumbs down. That's the one lane I'm super worried about, the 1v1, the isolated lane here. So feels a little bit, you know, maybe overconfident from Yellow Yoshi. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's a psychological game, bait out
Yeah.
Evi to get aggressive and then have Swamp camp that lane. We did just see in the last game level 2 gank coming in from jungler. So hey, maybe you get Evi to overextend. Swamp, top lane, not terrible place to look for a level 2 gank on a Vi.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially with the amount of level 2 potential that does come out from the Vine. As I say that already, these trades kind of going more Evi's favor, but Yellow Yoshi definitely still staying up to par here, getting that damage out here. It's just barely gonna get out of the range of that third Q coming out from Evi, but that would give an opportunity to Swamp, but it's looking to me like he's still just gonna continue pathing down and look to maybe prioritize getting that level 3 off in the mid or bot lane, or even 4.
Yeah, and there's the risk, of course, that if you do go for that gank, it does set you very far behind in Pablo. We saw that last game as well, and with that ward that Steel got into AXIZ's red buff here, if you know that, hey, Swamp hasn't been here for a while, if he shows top immediately, I'd expect Steel to just go and 3-buff Swamp here, so that's kind of the trade-off, despite how low both top laners did get in. Now, with all the pots being chugged, both top laners are fairly decent state, above half health for now here. And Steel did start bot side in contrast to Swamp, so if anything, first gank might come through instead for DFM in that top lane.
Yeah, looking like it, but for now, everything's still pretty chill. Overall, though, like you said, there's a little bit of hope for AXIZ. All right, there is they have a few of the stones. They've got Megumin right on this Victor. It's gonna take some time, obviously, for him to actually ramp up, get into the position you'd like to see him. But if Swamp can get a successful gank or 2 in, or just Megumin try and find a solo kill, I find that a bit less likely. But you never know. I've seen crazier things happen, and then you have Sangshu as well on the server. You can get ahead as well. Then there's definitely an avenue that AXIZ can look to take.
Okay, even as the resident AXIZ copium dealer here, Echo, mid lane kill, solo kill from Megumin, not impossible. I mean, any other mid laner, I'd say maybe doable. Yaharong has only died twice this split. Like this entire split here. We are on day 13. We are almost 2/3 of the way through the entire league. And he's only died twice. Once on day 4 to Burning Core, your team, and once on day 9 to V3. Other than that, he just doesn't die. So solo kill, if it happens, Matt, I don't care win or lose. I'd be over the moon for AXIZ.
That's already okay. That's the win con for RMC here today. Just kill Yaharong. That's all you gotta do, and you basically got the win. That's basically playoff secured.
Yeah, I mean, only two people have done it, all split long. 5 people can say they've beaten DFM. Only 2 people can say they've killed Yaharong.
That's definitely a statement to make, as well as Evi definitely needs to be a little bit careful here. Getting lower and lower, but for now, nothing really going on in this top lane. But look at just the amount of vision that's already been set up by DFM here. That entire top river is just, they have eyes everywhere. There is nowhere that Swamp really can go unless he threads the Nil perfectly and just makes me eat my words like he did just now. That was kind of clean. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty smooth, and he might just get rewarded for that. He's getting close to Evi. Might have to burn his flash here, but actually opts to not go for it instead. Meanwhile, on this bot lane, Sanctu getting lower and lower. They're not quite gonna find that kill though.
Yeah, really good senses in Ebi there to know to back out, because as you pointed out, they didn't actually see Swamp on any of those wards. He somehow threaded the needle there, and Ebi, you could smell the blood in the water. If Ebi hits 6, Yellow Yoshi dies pretty much. So really well played from Ebi to not overstay to back out. Oh, they don't. Did they know what Steel's in there? Okay, yeah. They know now. For a second, because of the pink ward, I thought they didn't see Steel. And Steel, good gank on the bot side, but Silver's just so hard to gank.
Pulverize, though. Flash coming out from Sanctuary as well with the Ignite. Not quite going to find what they were looking for, but that is going to be a flash and heal out here for Ozuka and Sanctuary. So that might just open up an opportunity for Steel here. He's going to be hiding behind that wall. That control, it hasn't spotted him out yet. If they could just base Sanctuary in a little bit further, but nah, even Sanctuary, he's like, something's going on here. They're being a little bit too chill, and he's going to have to back off.
Yeah, first gank, burn Ghost. Second fight, burn Flash. Sanctuary looks gankle, but even then, I feel like until Steel hits 6, there's just not enough CC to guarantee that lockdown on to this Sivir. So good attempt from Steel. He doesn't lose out too much either. He was invading, taking away camps from Swamp. So just generally very well played from DFM, and that will also reward them this dragon, because the bot side got pushed with that pressure, with that hover from Steel, because Steel gets the whole steal, and Yaharong as well, taking advantage of the early strength and shove potential that Azir has over the early Victor.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little worried there for Swamp when I saw him charging up the Vault Breaker there. If he dashed in there, that would have been a bit of a bad situation. I will say, props to AXIZ. DFM being a team that has shown us that even early on, they're not afraid to just get in your face and get those kills early on. Have been holding their own fairly well. Have been, they've been putting their brain to work. They've been seeing these moves coming from DFM and have been responding accordingly, as we saw with Sanctuary in that bot lane, right? And so even 7 minutes in, it's still 0-0.
I feel like, you praising AXIZ is putting me in a bad spot because now I need to talk about DFM. And gotta talk a little bit bad about AXIZ here. Bot side though, Yusufon getting poked out here and Swamp hovering in the area, not 6 yet.
Ooh, this might just be what they're looking for.
One more.
One more boom. Oh, the heal does come through though, and the boomerang blade won't find its mark. And so Yutapon there, almost kissing death. It's just barely getting out of that one alive.
Damn it, actually, if you got that kill, I could be happy for us. But as it stands, this is the problem with playing against DFM. Even when they don't get a kill at all, even when they seem to be playing quietly, the pressure mounts and the other shoe should drop. Mega Man? Oh, yeah. That's great.
Ooh, Degument just barely getting out of that one. That Shurima Shuffle not gonna hit. Yaharon, what's going on, brother? What was that?
Hey, I said Yaharon doesn't die. I didn't say Yaharon gets all the kills. Also, but really well played from Mega there to dodge everything out. Did have to burn the flash though, and keep in mind Steel is now level 6, does have the Cyclone, and we've seen dives come through from Wukong before. He's actually got quite a bit of burst damage to come through. If Yaharon can stack those Conqueror stacks in advance, dives is certainly not out of the picture.
Yeah, definitely not here. We see the roams actually coming out here from Ozuka, gonna hop onto Swamp. Maybe they look to try and find something here with another roam coming through. Sweeper propped up as well. Want to make sure they don't get spotted out. And that ultimate is available here. If you can just maybe Vault Breaker over that wall, or actually just gonna opt to just chill there instead. Looking to send it in. Are gonna go ahead and find that flash. Okay. Get the knock up. There we go. Looking for the kill. Yaharon. Can they find him? No, they cannot. And now Swamp running for his life. The double Cyclone and First Blood goes into the hands of Steel and make that 2. Actually, no, Yaharon gonna pick himself that one up and said, "You cannot kill this man. Not today. Not ever."
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? Not ever. Yaharon should have been dead to rights. I mean, cease and desist is the point and click, and you'd think that, hey, there's no way you get out of this, but it kind of works. Now Sanctuary's in a bit of trouble without a support.
Yep, stuck under this tower, and he's got 3 people looking at him waiting. The moment these last 3 minions fall, never mind, they're not even gonna wait for the minion wave to push. They try to push the minions back instead, and Steel gonna get himself that kill as well. Sanctuary knowing there's just nothing he can do. Doesn't have flash. Did he pop the? I don't think he popped the ghost there. I think he popped it earlier, and so overall just goes down. Ozuka here instead now needs to try and just keep Yutapon from farming some more plates.
I think he did actually pop it on that dive, which is a little bit unfortunate. You were already dead. You were going to leave a ghost anyways. They need to bend the summoner as well. But yeah, for AXIZ there, this is that moment where the other foot drops. The other shoe, pardon me, drops here. And you can see, I'm actually surprised Swamp went for this when Harp showed. Because if it was just Yaharon, then it's like, okay, we can do this. But when Harp is there with the Alistair, there's just so much CC to come through. I don't know how the fact that the hit butt actually came out kind of late there. And the fact that hit butt was held for that long meant there was really no point in time where Yaharon was really in danger, because you could have used it earlier to disengage Swamp. Instead, no, they were like, oh, we have enough healing, we have enough damage, we have enough safety that we can afford to hold this and go for the kill with that hit butt instead of the peel.
Yeah, Yaharon was just smiling the whole time at him, and like Swamp's like, why are you smiling? You're about to die. And he's like, no, you. And then he just hits him with the Uno reverse, dude. They just take him out. But overall, it's 3 kills now. 2 in the hands of Steel, 1 in the hands of Yaharon. We're about 10.5 minutes in here, and now Harp, let me see if they can find something. So much vision control, but that ward in the river. They do know Harp was there, but I don't think they know that Steel was there, as he was able to use that clone to get over the wall. It's going to get spotted out by that control ward, though. Now Sanctu, they realize once again that they're in a bad spot here. Into the wall they go. Lightning crash, so much damage with the Cyclone, and he's going to go down. They can't quite find Ozuka, though. Turret damage diff are going to have to back off, but they get Sanctu, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well with this Alistair. When you hit 6 dives, becomes so much easier when he gets the Unbreakable Will. You can see how long Harp tanked that up, and Harp wasn't even in danger of going down there. But good play from Swamp to recognize that, hey, bot side, sorry, Sanctuary, Ozuka, you're on your own. At least I'm going to try and take Herald to try and answer. It is a bit of a later Herald, though, and we'll have to see what AXIZ are able to find with it. They don't really have a good lane to try and drop it in because they're now losing top, bottom, and mid as well.
Yeah, not the best showing. That's for sure. Could be worse. Could be a whole lot better, though. I'm curious. Do want to get your thoughts on here with Swamp. First item being picked up is the chainsaw. How are we feeling about that one?
Yeah, so Melvin Izzle has been a great proponent of this and explained it quite a lot back on Sunday and Wednesday about the item efficiency of this, the gold efficiency of this item right now, 139%. And not only is it 139%, it's also really good against healing in general. Grievous wounds is a stat that is hard to come by here. And when you look at DFN's composition, we've already seen the passive healing from Alistar actually be pretty critical in that mid lane gank, and top side as well. Ebby is going to rush that Immortal Shield Bow, so you're going to need that healing cut if you're going to gank that top lane. So it's a good item, first item to pick up. It's more efficient than Mythics. And now, if you have picked it up for Swamp, I do want to see some ganks into the top lane specifically, because Ebby, without the healing, is still vulnerable right now to these sort of ganks.
Yeah, he's not in that position just yet where he's just absolutely unkillable. So time's a ticking. That's all you gotta say. Time's a ticking, as it seems like Sanctu's time might be ticking as well. Never mind. Steel's gonna opt to go for the Dragon's Head. He's how gracious of him that he's looking to spare the bot lane a third time around as they do start up this dragon here. Swamp realizing that there's really just probably not too much that he can do. Maybe he'll try and go over the wall with the Vault Breaker. Gonna have to wait and see. Yeah, no. He's not going to go for it. Yeah, you got to give it over sometimes. It's only second dragon. It's not the end of the world just yet.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, Echo, the clocks are ticking here. There was no vision in that pit, and unfortunately for Swamp, you're running sweepers at this point, so you can't see it all. Megumin might be in trouble.
Oh my God, Megumin! I don't even gotta cast that. Yeah. That was Yahorong just being Yahorong. That was very nicely done. Gets in front of him, hits him with the Shurima Shuffle. Steel and Harp are there once again. They're like, hello, remember us? Remember what happened the last time? We all met in this lane? Yes, you died, and now you die once again.
Oh,
come
Swamp!
on. No.
Why?
Don't do Swamp like that. Hold up, though. They might try to at least get something. Your heart is taking so much. Finally goes down and goes into the hands of Sanctu. Trying to get two here as well. Needs one more there. And Yahorong falls. He finally goes down, and Sanctu can be the one to say he took him out.
Okay, I'm going to say as planned, Echo. Was it? I don't know, but we're going to claim that. I got so worried for Swamp for a second. We've seen Harp pull off these dives already. Like we said, post 6, Alistar, really good at setting up these turret dives. You cannot be under a turret 1v3. There's nobody on AXIZ side who can really get away with that here. But the follow-up, thankfully, was a lot better. And now for AXIZ, they have to keep in mind, the moment you see an objective go down like that, Dragon goes down as Megumin, you don't get to push up at all anymore because of the way Steel can get in there, because of the way Harp can get in there as well. And that one was so easy that Harp didn't even have to blow the Unbreakable Will. So Swamp comes in here, and look at the position of where Sanctu and Ozuka are. They're so far behind. I didn't think this was going to work, but because of the Sivir ultimate, the movement speed boost, they just get there in the nick of time, and finding Harp, finding Yahorong, this is absolutely massive. I already said my one win con this game was kill Yahorong, and I'm happy for AXIZ. They are now the third team, third person, Sanctu specifically, to actually find a kill in Yahorong.
Let's go. And you know what? I got to give props to Azuka where props is due. That final chapter as well. Making sure that there was nowhere Harp can go. You can only tank so much, even as the Alistar. And he just took one too many turret shots, goes down, transferred over to Yahorong. They grabbed that as well. And now they're already looking a whole lot better off. Still a 4K gold deficit at the moment. There's still 2 drags down. There's still a couple turrets down. But, like I said, could be a lot worse. Could be better. Could be worse.
Yeah, and the fact that, kills are going to Sanctu, that's your big carry condition as well. So yeah, you're down 4,000 gold, but you're still in it to win it potentially for AXIZ now. The cull has been completed as well for Sanctu on the Nyx's back. I expect to see, another big purchase pickup with that Kraken Slayer. And that 2-item power spike, that's when Sanctu can potentially take over the game. Megumin, this is a repeat of mid lane.
Yeah, Megumin, he's not even registering what's about to happen and what's about to befall him. It's going to go ahead. Actually, Steel getting scared off there, though, by the turret. They are going to spare him. They're just, at this point, they're just, prodding him. They're just making sure that he's scared at all times. They're not even going to kill him anymore. That way, it just makes the next time he dies even more traumatic. Come on now.
Yeah, the fear there, and the fact that Megaman's not responding to that is a little bit worrying for me. The fact that, you know, we
Yeah.
could see that. Oh, Yellow Yoshi,
Ooh.
hello.
Yeah, okay. So much for that. He's gonna get absolutely stomped in this lane.
What?
Down goes Evie. Yellow Yoshi not even taking a scratch. He just absolutely puts Evie into the dirt.
Yo, I want a replay of how that started, because by the time we got up there, Ebby was half health, and that is not something you see every day. I mean, Ebby usually wins the 1v1s, and Yone into Nar as well does generally favor the Yone. It's very rare that the Nar gets to drop like that onto the Yone, so I've got to assume that he was probably just doing the Krugs there, didn't pay attention. But now Yellow Yoshi, can he get out? Does still have flash.
It's not looking too good at the moment here. Yahorong's here. Steel is here.
he's
Everyone is there. It does go mega mode. And so he's a big boy. But is he big enough? I think not. Pushes him into the turret. Lets it finish the job. Down he goes. That will be the TP burnt, though, for Yahorong to get up there. And Drag is up in 50 seconds. So maybe they're going to look to just go ahead, grab that Herald instead, and just allow AXIZ to set up control into this river. Because I do feel like DFM are still in the point where they can contest. And very nice read there by Sangchu with the flash to not get knocked up there by Harp, and is going to stay alive a little longer.
Yeah, so Flash is traded by Harp and Sangchu there, but it does favor Harp because he does have the Hex Flash. For Saxus, though, you saw for a second there that when the gank didn't come through, when Harp kind of got flashed on there, Sangchu actually turned around and is doing decent damage onto Harp, and Yutapon can't even really step up into the Sivir right now. Sivir just wins that 1v1 trade between the AD carries. You do more. That was one of the changes they made to Sivir. The whole idea being that Sivir was supposed to be the highest damage AD carry if she can survive the short range that she has to deal with here. And already before that second item is completed, we're seeing that happen. Yutapon does have a Phantom Dancer, so he actually does have a bit of an item advantage and still can't win the 1v1.
Yeah, and now with Dragon being live, Herald is going to get dropped. They're giving AXIZ the choice. What will you do? Are you going to take out this Herald and relieve control of the river? The answer is going to be yes. No, they couldn't even stop it. It still takes out that mid-tier 1. And DFM, they're like, we don't even need control of the river. We're just going to keep pushing this lane, and you can come match us in this river if you want to fight. Evie does get taken pretty low, though. Half HP, does have his ult available, though. So he can definitely still make something happen here, and obviously, you know, Yon being Yon can heal up quite a bit, but AXIZ looking to maybe start this drag here are gonna have to back off though. And look at Harp's positioning already. He's looking for something. He's looking, he's waiting, he's thirsty. This drag is getting lower and lower. They're gonna need to do something now. The spot. They do steal it though. That's huge. They grab themselves a kill on Steel as well, and they back off. They got what they wanted and they get out. Beautifully done.
Oh my goodness, Echo. My hopes are rising here, and I'm worried because it's looking so good for AXIZ here. The fact that they steal, you know, Sangchu's able to get it as well. And the way that fight breaks out, you can see that DFM are struggling a little bit to get the engage. Ebby got chunked out before that fight started. And if you're looking at DFM right now, their forms of engage are Ebby, Steel, and Harp. Harp was looking for the flank, so he wasn't quite in position here to kick things off. And you can see that AXIZ is very aware of the potential for a flank. So they're just kind of stepping up here. And with that vision ward, with that blue trinket, Harp can't look for it. Ebby already got chunked, like we mentioned. And because Steel has to stay in the dragon pit to actually secure the dragon, they don't have a good form of engage. And so AXIZ gets to kind of just poke you out with that Sivir, with that Nar, with that Victor. And by the end of it, when they get that steal as well, DFM just don't want to chase. It's a good call from DFM, but for AXIZ, this is absolutely massive that they stop the dragon stacking.
Yeah, it's big. The question is, can they translate that into anything? Because right now, Megumin is looking like he might be befalling the same fate that he's seen over and over, and he's not going to be the only one that pays the price. Swamp getting lower and lower. He doesn't quite go down. Seichu's here, going into the thick of things. Needs to definitely be careful. Has popped that ultimate, get that spell shield down. They're trying to do their best. Don't quite have that damage that they need, but they are spooking them off. Evie looking to find something. They are going to go ahead and actually get that shield off on, I believe that was Yutapon. And actually, are they? Oh, they're just going to go. They're just going to go for a minute.
Yeah, no, it's a great call coming through from DFM here, and it really feels like this is typical DFM. This is why they're top of the league. Their actions usually have multiple avenues for them to play with, and look at how quickly it's gone down.
Oh my god, and Evie knew that swamp was coming, actually misses the Fate Seal, but it doesn't even matter. That just buys DFM the time that they need to grab themselves that Baron, and everyone get out, and it's a safety. Swamp realizing this, him and the rest of the gang are just going to go ahead and look to push this mid lane, but Yahorong is like, no, this will not be happening.
Yeah, I did not think DFM could burst down Baron that quickly. Divine Thunder got nerfed on this patch. We're not seeing Kraken Slayer and Utapon. So it's Immortal Shield Bow, which means usually a bit less damage for both your AD carry and your top laner. But I guess when you've got 4 carries like that, you can burn down that Baron. And really well played to DFM for recognizing that, hey, we go for this top dive. If we get a kill, we get to push, we get to fall back on Baron. Even if we don't get the kill, we can go for Baron and Mega Man. Oh, not like this, man.
No, Megumin, no. He doesn't even know what's coming, just he thinks it's just Harp, but it's Harp and Co. Yo Harong is here once again. Megumin running for his life out of the
Just take
turret.
the
He's like,
turret.
please don't. No. He still goes down, though. He won't even get that turret as a consideration prize. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, we see the lightning crash coming. A lot of damage actually onto Heavy. He's going to fall. Sanctu getting lower and lower, though. Needs to be careful. He goes down, though. Swamp next on the list, and so is Ozuka. Yellow Yoshi, the last one standing here, goes mega mode. He's big, but is he big enough? No, sir. Because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Down he goes, and that's going to be the ace of AXIZ.
Well, Echo, this is why it hurts to get your hopes up.
Just for that silence, I could just hear the hype just dropped instantly down.
Yeah, it's like everything looks so good for AXIZ. Actually, was coming online. You know, they survived the topside gank, and even if they lose Baron, you know what? I thought AXIZ could kind of hold it in, but that series of events, that's on AXIZ, right? The fact that Megaman's pushed up that far. Why? Why, buddy? Like, we literally just saw what happened the last time you pushed up that far. Like, you can't do that without backup. In the mid lane fight as well here, the decision for AXIZ to try and kite downwards towards Yellow Yoshi, I think really kind of backfired a little bit there instead of just trying to kite back into their turrets. The idea is good. When you have lost Baron, you want to find the picks. And because they're all squishies here, because Harp's not here, yeah, great, you burn down Ebby, but Utapon's free firing on your backline the entire time. Yes, Sanctu can win the 1v1, but when Utapon gets that big a lead and advantage on the early burst of damage because Sanctu was so focused on Ebby, well, you lose the resulting fight. And this game does feel like it's going to come down a lot to these AD carries, who's alive and who's able to pump out damage here. So if Sanctu's taking so much damage trying to kill someone else and Utapon's that healthy, DFM win. If both are equal, then maybe Sanctu and AXIZ can try and win some of these fights at least.
Yeah, you know, at the very least, I can lift your spirits in the fact that, first of all, obviously, you know, they did take a Yaharong. That's definitely a win in the book. And from the looks of it, you are going to be right with the over and under of 25 minutes, as we are already 24 minutes in that one push.
Hey.
Wasn't enough to finish the game. And so, infinite dodge. Now we're going to have to take the L on that one. But for now, time's still ticking. And so the next drag is up. This one's going to put DFM on soul point. AXIZ, nothing really they can do. They can't step up. Look at that Harp. He knows that they can't step up. Just gonna stand there as an absolute menace.
That's fine. You know what? That dragon was already lost to them pretty much here. So the fact that they stole the last one is massive by the fact that they don't have to deal with Infernal Soul right now. Ebby still struggling actually. Surprisingly here, can't really push too hard into Megaman. So that's another good point for AXIZ right now. For DFM to win, they're still looking at team fights here. Ebby isn't at a point where he can split push, and neither is Yaharong. And if we're looking at team fights, that's a chance for AXIZ to try and make something happen. We've seen Sanctu pop off. Megumin now with 2 items completed is at a strong point as well. That Chaos Storm can do a lot of work here. So for AXIZ, a lot of it's going to be trying to see how can we force a fight on our own terms here. It's been Swamp trying to find the engage so far, but I like to see Yellow Yoshi try and time that Meganar in such a way that he can get that critical, 3-4 man ultimate here.
Yeah, that would definitely be huge. That I definitely think Megumin not pushing alone and dying might also be a good. That might be a good move. That
might actually fight.
That would definitely be nice. That Chaos Storm can only do damage if he's alive to place it. But you are correct that they need to just find that opportunity. They've shown us, right? They can do the damage needed, and they can make the place happen. We've been seeing, especially Evie has been being taken considerably low every single time that they fought, even down in that bot lane just like about a minute ago, almost actually going down, having that shield ball, obviously. But ultimately, even making him being 1 or 2, is still doing so much damage, hitting incredibly hard. And so it's AXIZ game to lose, but they can make something happen. They can definitely still find an avenue to get into this thing.
Yeah, and in a way, props to Evie, as much as I don't want to give it right now. Evie has only died twice, right? And for all that he keeps getting low, he is burning AXIZ's resources a lot of times, right? Like, they're constantly going to try and deal with this unit in team fights as well. Like we saw in the last one, right? Sanctu had to overextend to actually find that last little kill on Ebby. So even though he's not contributing maximal damage here, just being a distraction is a win right now for DFM.
Just
and
being
for
a
AXIZ,
nuisance.
yeah, exactly, right? Like it works. And for for AXIZ, pardon me, I wish I could say the same, because Megumin having only 1 kill at this point is definitely not ideal. It's kind of like the V3 problem they had, right? Where Yu-Gi-Oh was doing the bulk of the damage, but they're not fighting around Yu-Gi-Oh. Likewise for AXIZ, Megumin does a lot of damage. You need to start fighting around him. And if Megumin won't play safe, then maybe the whole team needs to just go to Megumin and keep him safe regardless of what Megumin does.
Just start following him around. Like, what are you doing, guys? I mean, someone's got to babysit you, you know. Swamp needs to be careful here. The Cyclone coming in, that's going to be a huge knockup coming through. Only going to find one, though. Fate Seals is going to go incredibly wide. He's not quite going to get... He does get punished for it. The boomerang from the other block finds him. Just absolutely beautiful. Taking him down. That's that first pick that they needed. That's the fight they were looking for. Can they translate that into more, though? They're going to allow DFM to push further up, but... Yaharon gonna go ahead and place a turret of his own that's gonna secure their back line, and now it's like they're kind of what's going on here? Like a wrong side, boys, wrong side, blue side, red side. They've turned colorblind. They don't know where to go. They're gonna opt to go ahead and fall back into the river. Actually, gonna look to start up the Baron here.
They have to.
Evie isn't up for another like 15 seconds, and so they do have that man advantage. Yellow Yoshi is moving up here, looking to just keep him there. Does have that mega mode, looking to go in. Only finds Harp with the stun. Is that gonna be enough though? It's a question. Lightning Crash going down. Yaharon with the Shurima Shuffle. A lot of low health bars on AXIZ. Down goes the first member. Down goes 2. Down goes 3. Seichu, last one standing, needs to run for his life. Needs to pop the ghost. Is it gonna be enough though? It will not, because Yuta Pawn says, I'm the ADC here.
And this might be it here for AXIZ. DFM have already taken down that mid-lane inhibitor turret. Only the inhibitor standing here. And with these death timers, even if AXIZ comes back up, they kind of need to wait for more members to come up. And I don't think they've got that time.
It's not looking good. I will tell you that. Swamp up in 6 seconds, and so with Ozuka, they need to get out of bed right now, and it's not looking good. They're up, no run, no! They won't quite find it, and with that, DFM will go ahead and take themselves this game.
You know what, Echo? I still counted a win right now for AXIZ with how they played that. Because honestly, I think against any other team except for DFM and maybe Sengoku, that game, AXIZ probably could have won against, Burning Core, against Roscoe Jesters, against CGA, maybe even against the Hawks here. There were moments of brilliance. And even at that last moment, hey, they find the pick onto Ebby. They put themselves in a good spot. DFM's just really, really good at punishing that. And I love the way DFM, played out that last sequence as well, because it kind of took the win that AXIZ got and said, you know what? Here's your win. Now you've got a dilemma. Where do you go with this?
Yeah, and I mean, it's like we said, right? They have been overperforming somewhat, AXIZ this time around. Even when you look at kind of the standing, okay, Infinite said that. I know you don't agree. Infinite said that. We'll leave it at that, right? And I mean, this was regardless still a very nice showing, even if there were some we'll call it missteps here and there, making in positioning. But it was still, there were some really good showings there that I was like, wow, like AXIZ they stand a chance against the behemoth that is DFM,
Yeah, and that's more than just chance and luck here, Echo. This is why I said I have hope. But speaking of Dodge, we should probably get back to Infinite Dodge there. He's waiting for us on the host desk. So I'm going to take a short break and we'll be right back with the host.
Man, oh man, poor Axis. They came to play, guys. I was rooting for them. They had some nice showings in that match. Unfortunately, when you're up against the unstoppable force that is Detonation Focus Me here in the LJL, sometimes your best efforts just aren't enough. But ultimately, there's some things to be proud of here, RMC. You said they would hold it. They would hold that line longer than 25 minutes, and they did. What did that ultimately come down to, do you feel?
First off, Infinite Dodge, the nerve of this man, calls it under 25 and says he's cheering for the team. But
No.
yeah, no,
I'm a pragmatist, RMC. That's my fatal flaw. I'm gonna be realistic. Let's be real. It wasn't that much longer than 25 minutes.
I actually don't know how long that took at the end of it. But you know what? Yeah. DFM is fast and they were overwhelmingly strong. Axis, though, they did fight. And I like what Axis draft here. I think this is something that works really well for them. Put Ozuka not on an engaged champion where he's unlikely to pick poor engages where the team won't follow up. His Yumi was great. The disengage was really, really good. The picks were really, really good as well. You put Sangchu on something hyper mobile. He's done great on Ezreal and Zeri specifically. Sivir kind of fits that style as well with that hyper mobility. The Ghost, I agree with you. Infinite Dodge probably a little bit of overkill, but you know what? It had its moments as well in this fight where Sangchu was able to kite around a lot, survive these ganks, and then you put Swamp on something which can gank aggressively. I would have liked to see Swamp gank even more aggressively than what we saw this game. And suddenly Axis has a game plan where they've got a strong early to mid game. They've got the tools to bridge into the late with the Victor and the Sivir. And with that, they can win games.
Yeah, it was a nice showing from them for sure. A team that has looked discombobulated, to say the least, at various points across 2022. But one thing that certainly aided them in their attempt at unseating the Giants that are DFM here, Echo, was the fact that Ebby did not look like his normal self here on this Yone.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. Some of the showings here from Evie, he was obviously, he didn't end up dying really too much. I think only ended up, I think, twice, if I'm not mistaken. But he got pretty low a lot of times. We didn't get to see the full fight, but Yellow Yoshi soloing them as well in that top lane, and I mean, barely taking a scratch to his name while he was at it. And honestly, it's like RMC pointed out in the cast as well. I wish that Swamp had also capitalized on that fact a little bit more. Especially we saw him when he picked up that with the chain sword, right? RMC literally stated like, yo, send it up into the top lane, like punish him now while you still have the chance. Swamp was like, no thanks, I'm not gonna do that. Kind of a missed opportunity, I feel like that, because that's, they're kind of already down. That's when you got to kick them.
Yeah, you've got grievous wounds. Go after the guy who's got healing.
You picked up the stat stick item, by the way. This is 1213 for everybody at home, so that is pre-nerf. For 2,600 gold, that Kempunk Chainsword is a crazy power spike as a second item on the Vi, and it does offer those grievous wounds, shut down that shield bow on Yone. Definitely an uncharacteristic game from Ebby, although ultimately, was it 5-head RMC? Because the pick onto Ebby there kind of is what made Axis go, okay, we don't have any other chances. Go for the Baron. And that's where things went a little awry.
Kind of. And to give huge props to Detonation Focus Me, not a lot of teams, I think, have the ability to look at that situation when you've just lost a player and say, okay, we know exactly the optimal play that we need to make. It's because because Yaharong dropped the Sun Disc into the mid lane that actually created that weird situation where they ended up on opposite sides of the map here. And suddenly Axis got cut off from their base. And because we already saw DFM take the Baron so quickly here, Axis can't even recall. They've got to defend that Baron in a way. And when they saw that the timer was ticking down, Ebby still had TP to come back up. They knew that, hey, either we do Baron or we watch DFM do Baron. There is no other choice. We're stuck in this sort of situation here. So I wouldn't actually say Ebby put them in that situation by getting picked. I'll say that DFM did a great job capitalizing on what happened when Ebby got picked.
Potato, as we do have a couple of choice highlights here from the game, one of which this was a moment I referred to earlier where Sangchu, I don't think you were juking your way out of that no matter how fancy the footwork was. The Ghost maybe thought he had taken heal at that point, but I do think, RMC, that you do make a point that the Ghost definitely did have its positive moments as well. There was that mid lane fight that was actually so well played from Swamp coming over the wall while three men were hitting the turret and setting up the cease and desist back. And yeah, that was a great foul from Sangchu, ran there with the Ghost. But here we have another big highlight, Echo. It's AXIZ coming in and pulling a bit of a V3 and actually taking this Drake away.
Yeah, it was really nice to see, especially I love that in a couple of seconds now they dropped that far side alteration right there. They realize Harp is missing. They drop that, they know he's there, and then the boomerang goes in. I swear, I think he smited had like 36 HP left on the drag's name. They grab it. And what I respect so much is that AXIZ realized, yo, we got what we were looking for. We're not gonna greed, we're going home.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same play we saw from V3 in game one on the day, and it's a nice sort of evolution here to see RMC because we talk so often about these patterns that we see a lot of our bottom of the table teams fall into, and I think being selective and not overshowing your hand in a place like that really shows nice growth over the course of the split for some of these bottom teams.
For sure. And for AXIZ specifically, they're in a funny situation. So I've always felt like their macro, the decision making has been largely correct. They don't usually overextend too horrifically. The problem has been mechanics for them a lot of the times. The fact that they can't seem to actually execute the fight the way they're visualizing it here. And to a certain extent, I feel like this replay kind of highlights that a little bit, right? The decision to go for Ebby is good. It's right. You've got the numbers advantage. You're trying to find the pick. But the way they go about it ends up biting them in the back here because they turn out so hard on Ebby, because they're taking so much free damage from Yusupon, it allows DFM to turn the tides. And this still, macro issues being fixed, great. But if their micro issues don't get fixed, they're going to continue struggling against these better teams, especially the more mechanical ones at the top of the table.
Yeah, you can have all the plans in the world, but if you can't execute upon them, it's not going to net you very much at all. Generally, though, I think we're all in agreement here on the desk. It was a pretty good showing from AXIZ against our top of the table team here, but we have one more top of the table matchup coming up in game number 4. It is going to be Sengaku versus Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks Gaming. It's a mouthful. Mask Swan would have nailed it, but I couldn't. We will start to break that one down on the other side of a short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll return.